This is a lesson on circumference. You saw the video on Schoology and you worked on circumference. We're going to go through a couple of more things and you'll have this assignment to do. So when you are working the problems for circumference, write the formula. There are two formulas. I would prefer you do C equals pi d. And anytime that you have a circumference, I would like you to use the diameter. And anytime you are calculating area, I would like you to use the radius. And a diameter is any line that goes from edge to edge on a circle that passes through the center. And in any picture of your circle, you're going to identify whether a diameter or a radius is given. And then you're basically going to fill in the formula with the numbers that are given. And you're going to calculate circumference according to the directions. Okay, some keywords you're going to need to pay attention to is diameter, radius, and place value. Because sometimes they will tell you round to the nearest tenth, round to the nearest hundredths. For us, we are going to always use 3.14 for pi unless the directions are stated otherwise. We are not using 3. A radius is a line that goes from center to edge. Okay? So on every circle problem for this entire unit, I would like you to identify the radius and identify the diameter. The radius is shown, which is 5. 2 radiuses is the diameter, so 5 times 2 is 10. I'm then going to write my formula, C equals pi d. I'm going to fill in 3.14 for pi and 10 for the diameter. And I'm going to come over here and multiply 3.14. I get 3140. 2 places over. My circumference is 3.40 feet. Now, I'm going to go back up to here, and circumference, circles are a little snobby little figure, and they want their own name. It is the same as perimeter. So if it's the same as perimeter, but circumference is only used in circles, and this is around the outside of the figure. Okay? I'm going to go to problem 2, and it says round to the nearest hundredth, tens, hundredths. I'm fine with that. That 0 can be there. It doesn't have to be there. Again, on a problem, I'm going to identify the radius. I'm going to identify the diameter. Even if I don't need the radius, I'm going to get in the habit. Here I have the diameter, which is 20. If I need the radius, I divide by 2, so it's 10. I'm doing circumference, so it's pi d. 3.14 times 20. So I go 3.14 times 20, 0, 8, 2, 6. 2 places in for the decimal, 62.8. I can put the 0 or not have the 0. It is inches because it is perimeter, and perimeter and circumferences are just units. Here I have R and D. A D is shown. I am going to get in the habit of going back to find the radius. My radius is 13 divided by 2. So when I do 13 divided by 2, I get 6, 12 with 1/2. 1/2 is a decimal of 0.5, so it's 6.5. I'm finding circumference, which is C equals pi d. I then go 3.14 times 13. 3.14 times 13. 12, carry the 1. 4, 9. Put a placeholder 0. Multiply by 1. Add 2, 8, 0. Carry the 1, 4. Moving over 2 decimals, 40.82 yards. Make sure you also do your units. Radius, diameter, because it goes from center to edge, it is a radius. If I double that, I have to do 17.3 and 17.3, 6, 14, 34.6. 34.6. I then have circumference equals pi d. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 34.6 times 3.14. I have 24, carry the 2. 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18. Carry the 1. I have 13. I have a placeholder 0. And then I do 6, 4, 3. Then I have 2 placeholder zeros. And I have 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. And 103. I then have 4, 6, 8, 0, 1. I have to come over 2 decimals here, 1 decimal here, so that my decimal is here. I have to realize my direction, say hundredths, so it's 108.64 centimeters, and that is your final answer. Word problems, you're looking for around for circumference. So Amy is putting a projective fence around her circular garden. The radius is 8. So R equals 8, D equals, in order to get a diameter from a radius, I multiply by 2, so it's 16. How many feet of fencing does Amy need in order to fence all the way around the garden? Use 3.14. So because it says around, C equals pi D, 3.14 times my diameter. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do my multiplication. 3.14 times 16. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 times 6 is 18. Placeholder 0. Multiplying by 1. I have 4. 8 and 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 8 and 1 and 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 5024. Make sure I'm pulling it the decimal in for 2 decimal places. 50.24, and make sure I have units. The diameter of a fire pit is 1.5 yards. Calculate the distance around the fire pit. So R equals D equals, it gave me D 1.5. If I need to get the radius, I'm going to divide by 2. I'm thinking $1.50. Half of $1.50 is 75 cents. I'm calculating circumference because it says around. 3.14 times 1.5. I'm going to do 3.14 times mislined them up. 1.5027 15, placeholder 0, 4, 1, 3, adding it 0, 11, 7, 4, 4, and I'm coming over 2 decimals here, 1 decimal here, so 3 decimals. So my answer is 4.71. I don't need the 0. And it said to the hundredths, and my unit is yard. Sorry I wrote through this. The radius of a monster truck tire is 2.75. Radius equals 2.75. Diameter is 2.75, and 2.75 is 5 and 5 is 10. 15, 4, 5, 550, 50. What is the distance traveled after 100 rotations? So I'm doing C equals rotations is around, so it's C equals pi d. So up here, around or rotations is circumference. So C equals 3.14 times 5.50. That's for 1. And just because I know that I'm going to go 100, I'm going to do 100 right there. Because now when I multiply this by 100, it moves the decimal. So it's 3.14 times 55. So 3, I'm going to scroll down and go 3.14 times 55, 0, 2, 5, 6, 7, 15, placeholder 0. I'm doing 5 again, so I just am copying the digits 1 over. Adding, and I came 2 digits here for the decimal, so it's 172.70. 172.70. I have to pick up my units, and it is feet. Now, because we can solve equations, we also can solve for the diameter or the radius. Write the formula. Fill in all the parts. I'm going to scratch, and I'm going to scratch, and I'm going to say solve for unknown. Okay? There's circumference. What is radius? So I'm going to write R, D, and then I'm going to write C equals pi d. Well, I know that my circumference is 18.84. I know that pi is 3.14, and I know that is d. Okay? And d is just like an unknown variable. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3.14. I am going to have a very hard time of doing 3.14 into 18.84. That just seems miserable to me. I'm going to look at this number and the whole numbers, and I'm going to go, hey, 18 divided by 3 is 6. So I'm going to work backwards, and I'm going to go 3.14 times 6. And 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6, 7, 8. 16. Oh, don't have to carry the 1. And 6 times 3 is 18. Move it over. Oh, I guessed right. So D equals 6. And if I needed R, I divide by 2 and R equals 3. So what I'm doing is filling it in, estimating, and then doing the math. Okay, here we go. Again, the circumference is this. Calculate the diameter. So I have R and D, and C equals pi D. Well, I know that this is 69.08. I know pi is 3.14. I don't know my diameter. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by 3.14 and 3.14. Well, again, I'm going to have a hard time doing this, but I can estimate 69 divided by 3. So I'm going to go 69 divided by 3, which is 223. So I'm going to do I'm going to come down here and go 3.14 times 23. I can handle that. And I'm going to go 12, 4, 9, X, 8, 2, 6, 2, 2, 2, 7, 2 decimals in, 72.22, and I need to get to 69.08. So 23 is too big. So I'm going to go down one. I'm just a tad too big. So I'm going to go to 22. 8, 2, 6, 8, 2, 6, 8, 0, 9, 69.08, and that is exactly what I needed. So my diameter is 22. That's what it's asking for. If I wanted my radius, I divide a diameter by 2 to get the radius, and I get 11. So this is my answer. The very next one is, Kenya made a circular cake with a circumference of that. What was the diameter? R, D, circumference equals pi D. I know my circumference is 28.26. I know pi is 3.14. I don't know D. I'm going to divide by 3.14. I'm going to divide by 3.14. I'm first going to do 28 divided by 3, which is 9. Okay, so I'm going to try 9 first. I'm going to go 3.14 times 9, which is 6, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 28.26, and I got it. So D equals 9. So D equals 9. Half of 9 is 4.5. And it wanted, what was the diameter? So it wants this.